So I'm just going to quickly go through the project for this rhythm project. After finishing your 4-beat rhythm sheet on Google Classroom, you're going to start on your GarageBand, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on the plus or anywhere on the screen where it says create song. You want it to be on tracks, and then we're going to scroll across to drums. You're going to click on acoustic drums down here, so every time we do a drum kit it's going to be acoustic drums. We then need to turn our speed down, so to do that we're going to click on the spanner or the little cog in the top right. You're going to click on tempo, and you want it anywhere between 80 and 90. Now using your first 4-beat rhythm, you're going to spread it around your drum kit. So teas and coffees are easier. I have my arrow at the number 1, and I'm going to press record. Tea, tea, coffee, tea, and then press stop. This brick walnut button now appears, and I'm going to click on that. And if you notice, my first rhythm only goes between the number 1 and the number 2. It's one full number between it. If it's too long, you'll have to go back and delete it and redo it. Otherwise, double tap and press loop. I then want to quantize it, so to quantize it I'm going to double tap and go to settings. I'm then going to click on quantization. If I have only used teas or soups, it's a quarter. If I've used teas, coffees or soups, it's an eighth. Or anything with a drinking chocolate's a 16th. So I'm going to click on eighth, and that will change any mistakes and make them correct for me. I'll then click on a plus, and I'll do it another acoustic drum kit. I must click that plus in the bottom left. I can change my drum kit, and then my next rhythm, so I'm going to go drinking chocolate, coffee, coffee, tea. And I'm going to put my arrow at the number 2 to do this one. So my second rhythm goes at the number 2. Drinking chocolate, coffee, coffee, tea. Stop, and this one will go between the number 2 and 3. Double tap loop, double tap settings, quantize it, and that's got a drinking chocolate, so it'll stay on a 16th. And then do it again at the number 3 on another drum kit. Coffee, coffee, tea. Double tap, loop, double tap, settings, and I'm going to put that on an 8th because it's only coffees and teas. Okay, then the last one, another plus, an acoustic drum kit, change my drum kit to whatever I want, arrow on the number 4 and press record. I'm going to do my rhythm. It goes between the 4 and 5, so I loop it and it'll stay on a 16th because it is got a drinking chocolate. So after I have finished my 4 drums, so if you haven't finished your 4 drums, just pause it now and go back and do that. Every time I do a section you can just pause it and keep repeating it and go and do your work. So after I've done my drums, I'm going to put my arrow on the number 5. I click on the plus, I scroll across to Smart Piano, and it will come up like this. I'm going to do the chords C, G, A minor and F, and the first time I do it on the piano I'm going to do it on the white bits. But I'm going to hold it down for 4 beats. Okay, so it should go C at 5, G at 6, A minor at 7, F at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first time I do it on the brick wall. I can see I've got blocks of chords, each starting at the numbers there. And anywhere on the white part will do. I click plus and I add another Smart Piano. And this time I'm going to turn my piano to a bass guitar, but this must be done on the piano, okay? I'm going to do exactly the same chord pattern, but I'm going to do it on the grey bits because it's a bass guitar, so it's low. Hold it down again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I stop. And then I can go back to my brick wall after I finish that. And I'll have 4 notes on my bass guitar, everything starting at 5. So you can pause now and go and do your chords, which are here, and your bass guitar. Once you've finished your chords and your bass guitar, you're going to click on this plus up here to add some bars. If your arrow is too far over here, it won't show. So I'm going to click on the plus and then click on section A. I'm going to turn that up to 16. My top line will automatically loop out, but I then need to drag these ones out so that they stop one at a time. So that's going to stop at 16, this one's going to stop at 15, this one's going to stop at 14. So I've started one at a time and I've ended one at a time. Now instead of dragging these out because there will be nothing there, I need to loop them first and then drag them both back to finish together at 13. So that's my everything done in the background, but now what I'm going to do is put a little tune, a little melody in, and that's going to go at the number 9. So I'm going to click plus on Smart Piano, but then I must click on this red button up here to turn it to keys. Now every 8 notes you've got a C, and that is the note that we are going to start on, and we're going to come up with a little tune. Notes that are next to each other sound best, or tiny little jumps, not jumping all over the spot like this. I'm not really wanting to use the black notes, I'm going to stick on the white. Teas, coffees and soups are best, so coffee, tea, okay, or the odd drinking chocolate. And I'm wanting my melody to go between 9 and 13. Coffee, tea, coffee, tea. I stop onto my brick wall. It finishes right on the number 13. If it's a little bit too long, just click on it and drag it in. Now that is my whole piece completely finished. So what I'm going to do to get this onto Google Classroom is turn the metronome off, and then I'm going to drag down and I'm going to click on my screen record button, which should say microphone off. If you don't have the screen record button, you have to go into your iPad settings, onto customize control, on control center and customize controls, and you click on screen recording so it's at the top. Now I'm going to drag down and I'm going to click down screen recording, and it's going to start screen recording. And then go back to my brick wall, press play, and play my piece the whole way through. When it's finished, press stop, and then I press on the red screen record button to stop recording. You then go to Google Classroom and you find the assignment that you want to attach your piece to. And that one is called Rhythm Project Marksheet, and you'll find that on Google Classroom. You then slide up on your assignment and add it as attachments from your photos and click to upload it. When you've done uploading it, you then get a mark sheet which looks like, 1 second, like this. And what you're going to do is on each column you're going to pick one of these which is for your piece, and you're going to highlight it in green. So if for my timing's not good, I'm going to highlight the bottom one in green. If my timing's okay, but I've got a couple of lines that need redoing, I would click this one. This one for if I started quantizing it but 1 or 2 lines still needs a bit of work. This one for if the timing in your piece is good and you quantized all of your lines, but one of your lines needs a bit of work, and then this one if your timing's perfect. So I'm going to highlight one of them. Then on rhythms, if it's too basic, the bottom one. If it's simple, but I've used most of the rhythms, this one for if it's simple but all the lines sound different, this one if I've used all my rhythms. Now the top one, if you've come up with your own rhythms that are completely different to mine, that is where I want you to be. Structure, so if it looks exactly like mine is what you are looking for. It comes in one at a time and it ends one at a time. So if your piece does not follow my structure, you're on number 1. Number 2 for if your piece loosely follows my structure but it's not always on the right numbers. 3 for if your piece follows my structure but your chords and your bass are in the wrong spot. 4 for if you follow it completely but there's a couple of little mistakes. And then 5 if it's exactly what I've asked for. Then the last one is your melody, your little tune at the end. 1 if you've not done your melody. 2, you've started your melody but it's very short and it's not finished. 3 if your melody is done but it's a tiny bit too long or a tiny bit too short. Your rhythms are very simple and it's a simple or it's a little bit too chaotic. So a little bit crazy. 4, your melody is the full 4 bars, so it goes between 9 and 13. You have used different rhythms, but it's a tiny bit simple, it's still a little bit too chaotic. 5, for if your melody is the correct length, you have used all the different rhythms and your melody is very creative, so you've gone up and down steps or you've got some little jumps like mine did. So once you've finished with that, you're going to add up the score that you've got. So if I had a 3, a 4, a 3 and a 5, I would add it up and then with a pen I would write it at the top of my sheet. You can then go in with a yellow highlighter and do some improvements. So I do my green highlighter first. 1, 2, my structure's fine. Melody, and then I add it up. So 3, add 4, add 5, add 2 is 14. And then go in with a yellow highlighter. Yours will be a lot neater than this though. Yellow highlighter. Okay. And I click on some improvements. So I'm going to finish my melody. I want it to be the full 4 bars, and so that's going to be yellow. My rhythms, I'm going to try and have a go at doing my own. My timing is not okay in a couple of lines, so I'm going to fix that and I'm going to quantize some of it. So I should have a couple of different things on my piece to improve on. That is what I need to submit to Google Classroom. So my screen recording and my mark sheet with a number on the top with greens and yellows that are above my greens because they're improvements. Once you've finished, you can go and do some of your improvements if you get time, and then put a screenshot of your brick wall on Google Classroom as well. Okay, but your piece should be completely finished with your mark sheet.